We turn the page once more as Chapter 7 of 10 of this year's US Poker Open comes your way. Event number 7, the 10K No Limit Hold'em, as those before it from inside the PokerGO studio here at Aria Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. And 2 of those 3 faces are spread across the felt. Last year's PGT Player of the Year, Alex Foxen, and 2024's winner, Jeremy Aumsus. The top 2 chip stacks, Ali Najad alongside Brent Hanks. 5 players here at this FT and multiple appearances already across this festival for a few of them. Alex Foxen, this his first FT of the series, but 4.8 million. He's looking to leave a mark on it. Almost a 3-to-1 chip lead over Jeremy Aumsus, who's got 2 million. There is Jeremy. He is in 4th currently, but regardless of where he finishes, 5th through 1st, he'll end up in 2nd behind Brock Wilson, who cannot be dethroned here today for the overall series lead, as that Gilded Eagle looks for a home. $52,500 also looking for a home right now. That the on-tap payout, $17,500. The gap between 5th and 4th as we work our way up to a $210,000 payday. Just 70 entries this time around, 10 spots paid, and there is the screech signifying an avian shuffle up and deal, if you will. Level 18, quarter 50 and 50. Brent, let's get going.
They stole your money?
Yeah, if you don't log in, they take your money.
90 days, that's it.
Ausmus and Foxen have 80% of the chips in play.
But that's wild, though.
You know, it feels as though they're the apex predators that are going to be taking turns trying to pick off the prey in terms of chip stacks right now. But in terms of talent, not at all a fair way to describe Dr. Jack, Mike Burke, or this man, Aram Zobian, especially when his teeth are nice and sharp with an ace-king offsuit.
What a hand to be dealt right out of the gate. As one of the shortest stacks, 10 bigs.
$335.
Shirt says, tonight we ride. Well, giddy up.
Yeah, I believe it's a biblical theme on the T-shirt, and he's looking for a little religious experience against these 7s. Dr. Jack knows that this is a committing declaration. He's not exactly deep stacked himself.
Really brutal spot.
Hit the road.
Wow. Yeah, it's understandable, Ali. Dr. Jack has both Burke and Zobian covered. He sort of just wants to fold a lot and let these shorter stacks try and bust.
All right, I'm going to ask an honest question. Dr. Jack has the ace-king in that spot. Zobian looks down at 7s. You think he's bidding it?
Probably not. I think if you reverse it, ace-king is just that's a premium, right? 7s is not.
0% chance.
Well,
that's low.
That's not true, because you just gave me a chance.
Abracadabra, baby.
Ausmus briefly paused upon his ace-6 offsuit. And here comes the man of the moment, Alex Foxen.
I don't really want to show these.
1.2.
You know, it felt like he didn't even bother looking at his hand as he just stuck enough out there to cover everyone behind him.
Maybe 3rd. But
not interested in the ace. Very much interested in the 2 pay ladders, though, if he can outlast Zobian and Burke.
Oh. I had a big hand, actually.
King 3 of clubs.
King Jack of clubs.
Oh, dear heavens.
What a seat and what a spot for Foxen. He just gets to grip and rip and apply max pressure to those shorter stacks behind him. And really, Ausmus being 2nd in chips is so handcuffed.
Direct right of Foxen.
Can't get out of line at all.
You know what's wild?
study
On the
maxing?
heels of a King Jack suited, here he is with ace jack. Everybody expects this like 90%, 95% VPIN. And yet he's actually had hands worthy of the opens. This time you see the adjustment having everything to do with Ausmus being in the big.
And notice the quick fold from
Stack
Ausmus,
maxing, hand maxing,
even
hand
to a
or
sort of a
phone.
min raise. He's just going to continue to fold.
Card distribution maxing.
Card distribution maxing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make
Hat
a
maxing
still.
I'm gonna make
Your own hat maxing.
Yeah, no, this is still the same
Oh,
one.
it's still-
I couldn't
Oh
switch.
yeah. Of course.
Superstition maxing.
Right. Yeah. Superstition.
Energy farming.
Under other circumstances, perhaps Dr. Jack would have more of an affinity for a suited connector. Not under these ones, as Burke looks down at Nina.
Yep. Our shortest stack, about 7 bigs. We're just going to get it in, or at least most of it.
335.
Will he get a spin? King 10 off.
Oh.
You have 15 back, right?
25 back.
25.
Foxen doesn't give him a spin, and I gotta say, because the King 10 offsuit, you know, you could think it's got reasonable equity against that jamming range for Burke, who needs to make moves here early.
It rates okay as we take a look at the bio. Presented by GPI, THM, and yeah, pro out of Chicago. Young gun, by the way, is Michael Burke. 30 years old. From what I understand, a heck of a basketball player, Ali.
You know, I saw that, but I was more focused on the IT help desk specialist.
Yeah.
You know, at a certain age, I think everyone sort of ends up with that job when mom calls and can't understand why the VCR is blinking 12 or why the router and the Wi-Fi aren't hooking up to your phone. You know, that's the first call they make. Foxen.
Just to maybe touch on that last one. We can see
Not on
the
the fourth
developments
hand.
here, but, you know, for Foxen,
Okay, so wait for next.
he should be folding a lot
Gotta
of
last at
those
least 5
types of
hands,
hands, King 10. It's advantageous for him to keep these shorter
Speech
stacks
play, man.
around
That's
to be able to
exactly- yep.
continue to accumulate.
You all get some chip.
exactly right.
My turn, right?
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
say?
I said you two get some chip, right?
It's his turn now.
There's Foxen bio. Chip leader coaching.
Oh no, there's some song in my head playing right now.
Helps others get better
What's
at
that?
poker.
Hit the road, Jack.
Former tight end at Boston College. Just an all-around competitor with 12 PGT titles. And that obviously had something to do with why the Cold Spring Harbor, New York native ended up with the PGT Player of the Year honors just last year. Your reigning champ on form here.
Wait.
It's 50K.
Oh, right. I'm an idiot. I think it's 25.
Cuspy one for Zobian.
35.
He's going to go with it.
335.
Always nice to pick up these pots. Look at the separation now. Zobian, Dr. Jack, and notice Burke in the middle. Just drifting further and further. It's the shortest stack.
You know, I often refer to it as kind of a war of attrition, some jockeying when you're down there at the back of the pack. Patience and just trying to see specifically for Dr. Jack and Zobian whether or not Burke is going to give way as a 5th place eliminee and allow us to pick up this extra 17.5 is profitable.
Look at this. Jack 6 offsuit.
Yeah.
Just pouncing and accumulating.
And the helplessness of the victims to do anything about it.
Right.
As he keeps
Foxen
snatching the lunch money.
deep into the night on day one on the stone cold bubble as we look at the format of this 10K buy-in, 2 re-entries, 7-handed final tables. And in this event, late last night, the stone cold bubble between El Jefe, Carry Cats, and Foxen. The board, King 10-8, turn 7. Money goes in. El Jefe pocket 7s for a set. Foxen King 10 for top 2. For a pile of chips, River 10.
I feel as though El Jefe's been on the receiving end of that sort of brutality a disproportionate amount of the time.
So dirty, yeah. And it was really that hand that allowed Foxen to accumulate so many chips and build this type of stack for the final table.
Well, it looks like the building being done by Zobian, courtesy of an ace-10 here, over the top of Foxen for 385. And concession comes quickly from Alex.
For sure.
Not so
Nervy
much.
moments.
I mean,
Standard play maxing.
normal.
Zobian from Rhode Island, among so many of the
I opened that
top-tier
one even
professionals
for
that are into health and
A
fitness.
regular
Your
table.
U.S. Poker Open champion a year removed, back in 2024.
Day one, WSP main, under the gun 8 hands.
Three-time PGT title winner.
Yeah,
Founder
we
of the
can
NATNA Foundation.
Yeah, you gonna look that up? You trying to find a little intel? You go over the bios, I'm gonna Google. How's that? NATNA?
I believe that's what it was.
Okay. No idea what it is, Ali. Maybe it's the NATNA Children's Foundation?
Feels like a cause that I could see Aram getting behind, but
Uh-huh.
as I'm leafing through the bio, I confess I'm having trouble zeroing in on details.
All in.
All in declared here by the sticks on the puck, and that's 5 quick bigs and change.
Yeah, really.
Scooped
Risk
up by
maxing.
Zobian.
And confirmed, by the
play
way, the
maxing.
NATNA Children's Foundation. Aram, one of the founders, and it looks like this is all
Getting
about
so out of hand.
empowering
Soon we're like not
Tigre's
even going to be
future.
speaking with real words. It's
Yeah, it's insane.
Tigray, if I'm not
It's-
mistaken,
I can't help it.
I know.
Is,
It's
uh,
normal
It's
sentences.
actually
Yeah,
just really
an
fun.
ethnic
I know it is somehow fun.
faction in
Someone who'd
Ethiopia,
really like
Eritrea, like this
Land
kind of
dice.
corner of the world in Africa that have come under some pressure.
More his generation's thing, right?
Yeah.
Not looking to soften it, just not fully brushed up on what's going on there. But there is a dealer by the name of Lem over at the Bellagio who I believe is of Tigrayan heritage and has very much talked about this. There were these red hats, by the way, as we see Burke's 335 does get patronage out of Zobian's King Jack suited. Dr. Jack not going to be inclined to get in there with his King Jack, and when it hits the muck, that's an issue, of course, for Zobian. Do you remember these hats? They're in the World Series main that were distributed, and I think even had Tigray on the hat. Anyway,
Nope.
9-3 deuce would have been a flush draw for Dr. Jack. Instead, the ace queen hangs on. Turn card now providing a gutter to Zobian. Burke doesn't want to hit the queen.
Oh,
And the king binks
King.
Zobian as Burke
Nice. Good game.
You-
There has
Showered.
King Jack.
Oh,
We know from Cloud.
brutally kind of crept up on me out of nowhere, if I'm being honest.
Until you hit that king.
Kind of thought
Just
with
ran it
another King
quick.
Jack in the muck
Right.
that it was kind of clean there for young Burke, but instead dirty things leave him collecting 52-5.
he needed
Now
a
we
lot
can
more
gamble, yeah.
points, probably a 1 or 2 finish to really be a contender for the Golden Eagle, but you know, some events remain. Michael Burke, certainly anything's possible.
Well, there's a look at the chip counts upon the departure of Burke. Dr. Jack inheriting the short stack duties all alone now at the back of the pack as Zobian has performed very well. Came into the day, Brent, with 545,000, now 1.37, and some real breathing room and daylight between himself and Dr. Jack as
1.32.
everybody now locking up 70,000 in the next ladder, 24-5.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding, seriously.
No time wasted.
If I jam, do you call? I'm out, but you still call. Okay. Good. It was close. Yeah, no, I understand.
Big pickup
I was
there
just
for
curious.
Dr. Jack.
I had a hand that could do either.
we got Jack. His first name is Qinghai. You know, and I confess I don't really derive Jack from that.
I think he's been around the game for a number of years. LA scene, as we see Dr. Jack go to work. And boy, he might have a customer here with Foxen,
Qinghai
or excuse
Pan.
me, with Ausmus. But remember, Ausmus has to be very tight, hence the king, queen of clubs into the muck. But anyway, with
No more Tushy.
Maybe he ironed some people out.
it's
you
just
know,
been his name. Everyone in the LA
That's why
Cash
they said.
Games tournaments started calling him Jack. Carried over here to Las Vegas at all these tournaments, and that's, you know, he's Jack.
All right, the U.S. Poker Open has an online edition, and that's running now through April 26th, and you're invited. Get in on the action with daily tournaments, big guarantees, and a chance to win a Vegas prize package. You don't want to miss it. It all happens on globalpoker.com.
Like Toshi.
Yeah,
Toshi.
Jack.
Zamani kept saying it to Peter.
Yeah.
He's got kind of a blue-collar approach to the game, doesn't he? Jack fits.
It does. You know, I like it. A little defense from Foxen. He'll certainly want to get mixed up out of the big blind whenever presented the opportunity.
Dominated. Coming up totally empty. Same story for the aggressor Pan.
Well, let's see if the aggressor, Pan, wants to continue. He should just win. Not much that Foxen can do clubless with the 8-7. Very nice. The size of the balls on Dr. Jack.
You
You
know,
see
it's-
those on his arm?
Not generally the geography that one's referencing when asking. But yes, I do see the... I would have gone with beads, Brent, which I'm sure you could also find a way to make uncomfortable for us, but maybe just beads. And yeah, that's
I like it. I might.
That's a big gauge there.
I would wear something like that.
Would you really?
I would. If you look carefully at my wrist here, Ali, as I roll up my sleeves, I'm watchless. I'm braceletless. I don't do the
So you need a little flair.
arm, Julie. I could use a little arm candy.
Must be a big one.
Well, why don't you run on out there and see if Dr. Jack would be willing to part ways with...
I would even just a couple of those balls. I could just do 2 on a string.
I don't
Hanging
think
out.
that's really how it works. I think maybe just all or none there.
You do you've got a wedding ring on.
Yeah, I've got
That's
a ring,
left hand,
you
wedding
know.
ring.
Yeah.
Are you, wait a minute. Did you get married?
Nah, I'm just trying to stay out of
15K
trouble out
get
here,
ready.
man.
Wow.
You know,
Did you
she wears
quietly-
one,
Okay.
I wear one,
Yeah.
and, you know, onwards.
Yeah. The common law marriage.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good for you.
Just a
You've
way
really
to avoid...
settled down.
It's a way to avoid the prenup conversation. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Ace-10 offsuit here. A
That's-
real romantic I am, huh?
Just my Porsche, honey. Not
Ace-10
yours.
makes it 105.
What'd this get?
Take it.
This one's small.
Yeah.
61 seems.
Like the rock one that was 80.
Yeah.
It's been so much smaller this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
They talking about the
I actually think
turnouts?
it's in large part because the binds are smaller. People don't travel for them anymore.
Yeah. No, it
Like
makes
a lot of people used to travel for this, and I don't think.
But these are consistent with what they've been the last couple of years, right?
Yeah,
this
before
series is.
things like pop.
We haven't had the 50 forever.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. I guess
The
that's true.
last one was smaller. It was like a 15K main, you know, and this one has 250.
Yeah. You're right. There were a couple, but it, yeah, maybe it had like a lag of like.
All in.
Nothing laggy
Like
about a jam
people-
from the small with A7.
Just had it in their schedule to go for them, so they
Yeah.
went when they lowered it the first time, and then some people stopped. I don't know.
But the last chance and the kickoff did really good.
There's some
Did
hype.
the kickoff do good?
There's some hype there. I didn't play.
I don't think the kickoff did. I think the last,
Last
chance
chance
did,
did
but
really
because they
good.
were giving away so much fucking
Yeah,
money.
Kickoff is like
That's kind of a normal.
small. So it's fives and
Yeah. The last chance was, but it was like
Last
every.
chance was.
Well, as the
over
boys
100
kind of
for most
discussed the
them.
Yeah,
history
it was
of
like
the
some
event.
Of the highest
This is the
EV
8th edition
10Ks you
of
could
it.
play. If you were outside of the top 40, it was like,
Yeah.
25K
You were
PGT
like-
Passport going to the
I don't know. You had
series
like
champ,
5K
defending
bonus
champ of
EV.
this one,
we
Shannon
played a
Shore.
50
Haven't
player
seen
last
much of
chance,
Shannon
or kickoff
in
like
any
with
of the
McGowan,
broadcasts that we've had. He hasn't made any of
Mm-hmm.
these final tables.
Got
Is
like
he
a
out there
million views on
grinding?
YouTube.
He is, and
Pretty
it's.
insane.
I
I
didn't know
sort
that
of
part, but I
forgot
wanted
he
to.
was
What?
last
It was
year's
like a
Golden
50-player
Eagle
10K.
Oh,
winner.
I did a kickoff.
did
and
he
they
win
it
the
in
last
triangle
event?
room, like day 2.
That
To
was
lock
one
it
that
up?
Chrissy was at too, right?
Maybe.
She won.
Yeah.
Wow.
She
God.
knocked you out queens to aces.
Yeah.
The queen prevailed.
Yeah.
She bluffed me.
Yo, yeah, that
Jack 7.
was a kind of sick hand if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep.
Plenty of money left to play for, and yet so much comfort across at least 3 of the 4. Dr. Jack kind of more of a wallflower when it comes to the social aspects.
Wow, and a notable adjustment from Foxen.
Yeah,
So
no wallflowering here, by the way, for Dr. Jack with the ace-king suited, but talk to me.
I think he's just fortunate that these players have all accumulated. Jack and Aram Zobian had Dr. Jack
Gamble
been
maximum.
around 700K or so. It's all in pre. But he had to adjust due to the depth of these stacks rather than just grip and rip.
It's good either on our coin.
Again, I had one or the other. I could do either one. I could also just limp, but
I heard it's allowed.
that's what I was told. These things are allowed.
Now what do you do with ace-6 off on the button?
Yeah, as you
Stack
bring it
maximum.
out,
Yeah.
He says all of it.
shorties are not quite as short as they once were. In the 20-some-odd big range. He catches them.
Be hard.
Dirty diver.
You didn't
and
look at the
ace
second,
deuce.
right?
Don't need to look.
I did just for the information.
What the universe information?
The
Like,
data, yeah.
Yeah.
You just add it all together.
If you look at the other one, then you have more idea what he has.
Yep.
Yeah.
'Cause you have blockers.
Sure. I did too.
So I probably had a good hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what that says.
That's that.
Logic maxing.
King 8 of clubs. Good hand.
You're familiar with this maxing?
Glad
Yeah,
you're getting in on
maxing,
it, Jeremy.
farming.
I'm trying.
You know, they're
I'm new to
leaning
this whole maxing world. My
hard
kids-
into it.
I didn't know its existence until like yesterday, but
Yeah,
I'm all
I-
in now.
I mean, I've heard it a little bit, maybe. But
Like yeah, but I didn't understand the whole lore, like that it was like almost like a cultural movement.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Zobian also not all in with his ace-10 offsuit, just limping here. 8-7 deuce board, and that is going to link up with Ausmus's queen 8 for top pair as Jeremy outflops.
Hi.
You big blind?
Yeah, they're not letting me.
Better hurry.
They're not letting me steal the blind.
Really?
No Toshi working. It's been a jam done. No,
Wait, no what?
I'm joking.
Good start for Ausmus. And I don't imagine that Zobian just wants to relinquish ace-10 quite yet, but we'll see. Just one big blind to want to continue 2 overs. Yep. Okay. Outs. Now for Zobian, 6 of clubs on the turn.
Two and a quarter. The follow up to the 50K on the flop. Zobian's aware Ausmus is quite capable of trying to apply some ICM pressure in this situation and firing a couple of stabs at this with less than ace-10, but decides to keep
Wow,
things
that-
simple.
Kind of thought maybe there's a world in which we just continue to call after turning the gutter, but
I think if we're going to do that, we want to have some measure of optimism that Ausmus is in shutdown mode with a decent frequency on the river.
No.
And I just don't know based on kind of the history between them.
it's also nice preserving 20 bigs, right, for Zobian.
Yeah, especially with Pan out there, 1.17. You don't want to lose contact with the good doctor because you know he'll try to outlast you. Drill you right down to flat line. Collect that pay ladder. He's so cautious in these spots. But with a couple of eights, throw caution to the wind.
Uh-oh.
And with ace-king, Foxen might be throwing more than 150 in here.
Yep. Believe the big man wants to play a big one.
Yep, not going to get cute. Just a jam here.
This is really close for the doctor. Eights might just be good enough.
I don't think he's far north enough of Zobian to kind of consider this, well, I don't want to miss out on the pay ladder. That's not a given.
And we have the worst pairs beat, right? Foxen would do this likely with sevens or worse rather than calling. He would rip it in. This sort of feels like a massive coin flip on the horizon. So much pressure. He's gonna let it go. That's so tough to do, Ali.
And it's also, I think, the only player right now amongst these four that would be willing to release those eights is Dr. Jack. Brent, would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He is a tough out, man.
It really may have just been one pip off. If they were 2 9s, we might just be in. But 2 8s finds the bin.
I thought eights was a qualifier.
I did too.
How abusive will Foxen look to be here? 10-3 offsuit. In the small. 135, just shy of that 3x standard small blind open versus big. Jack 8 suited now for the doctor.
Call.
All right. Appointment booked.
Yeah, that's a 12K trophy.
Yes, I did.
I did not believe that when I heard it.
I've heard that for a while. The
7-5
championship,
Trey
the
Foxen
VG
with
championship one, 20K.
bottom pair.
And the old Eagle.
Like the
was
one you
probably-
won.
Yeah.
Is it
Apparently
because
the
it
one
has
this year.
gold on it?
No, because it's a custom thing. I know, it's crazy.
But
No, it's nothing to do with the materials.
it has it's just tax evasion then, right? It's just
It's
20K write-off for this, like.
It's insane.
There's no
'Cause each
material.
one of them's custom.
Is
like,
there any
you know,
precious material?
I don't think so. It's heavy,
85K.
but
C-bet and this Jack 8 should be released shortly.
they've.
I'll take it off your hands for 1,200.
It's a pretty grand trophy. I don't think I'm willing to part with it for 1,200.
Is it massive, size-wise?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like by far the biggest one I have. It makes the PokerGO cup look like.
You talking about the cup that you won?
Yeah, the big ass
Yeah.
one.
I like.
You won a cup.
Huge.
You won a disc.
I won
Yeah.
the
Okay,
plate.
was
I won
thinking
the
you
disc,
the
too.
plate.
I won
Oh,
the
the
drug
plate
tray.
also.
Oh, because of the.
I won both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Calm down. Yeah.
And then I won some other shit.
Yeah.
No, but the cup is ridiculous.
Like they're talking about the size of the trophy.
Can we get a list of what you've won?
The Big Bird,
You
the
know
Golden Eagle is
I got
massive.
it right here in my pocket,
I
actually.
mean, it seems like it.
But apparently
Not
the
one, but
newest
two
cup
7
wasn't-
deuce offsuits.
Wasn't quite the same.
Discipline maxing.
Jacks for the doctor.
Tight player.
And he's thinking,
Yeah,
how
well,
is it that Foxen didn't open?
Finally, your
Yeah.
rush is over, huh?
Yep.
They're a fitting
I
hand.
know when it.
Jacks
you know,
for
when to
Jack.
Call it quits.
Doesn't rip it. Says, you know what? Let's try and build one. Oh, we got action. Uh-oh.
Ace 10, Zobian 3 bets, and the
Gamble
two
maxing.
short stacks are
ace.
locking horns. 1.7 million chip pot.
Say diamonds.
Guess you don't
Dr.
have ace.
Jack.
I only had king
The
nine
man at
suited,
risk.
so I just let you guys fight it out.
Those medium
Wow.
aren't working out
You
for
just,
you.
you just knew.
Can Zobian find a bad beat? Not on this flop.
Should have played it.
Yeah. I will push all you want, no matter what.
He got
believe
lucky on the river to send Michael Burke packing with King Jack against
Look at
Ace
7.
Queen. Turn is
Close.
safe
Ace of diamonds.
for Pan. Will the
Ace
river be safe as well?
Oh, nice one.
One-legged version, not gonna cut it. Nice hand, stated, and Zobian now with vapors. 3 bigs in the aftermath.
835.
And Pan right up there now with Ausmus. Comfortable. Right around 35 to Ausmus's 40 bigs.
He ran the 5. The guy called me with a 5-6 suit. I realized all in. He called me. That he never he catches 6.
Wow.
I had a pair of 5. So
Oh, I saw this hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
he,
That was
he-
for
I
the
think
trophy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You win if you hold.
Yeah.
1.
He was tired.
He is tired. He
Yeah.
said he raised. I released all in. He said I don't care anymore. I call.
You could tell. Yeah. He was.
He said it before a speech. He said, I don't care anymore, I call. I saw much too overcar, you know.
Not everyone plays 5,000 tournaments a year like you. It gets exhausting.
The man he's referring to, Peter Placey, I believe.
Oh, yeah. What a battle that was.
Right up until it wasn't.
Riz.
When Placey had just had all he can stand with a 6-5. Foxen back to his old ways.
I call.
Snacking away.
I got a real good one.
This guy finally called a re-raise, huh?
Finally got the goods.
I waited all day.
Yeah, chip.
Why did you do that?
You got king 10?
I'm live.
Ah, barely.
Zobian did
pretty
actually
live.
jam his King 7,
Backdoor
so
straight, backdoor flush, a jack.
Foxen
practically
called
a
the extra
favorite.
60
I don't know about that, pal.
and has designs on diamonds.
But I was wrong about the 9-8.
Maybe a jack.
I'm glad you're learning some humility.
Oh, God.
If that was just a jack, it would have been too funny.
Yeah, I kind of felt the turn.
Yeah. Now that it wasn't on the turn, you're safe, but
Pair the board.
Zobian just needs to fade a jack. And he can't do
my
it.
God.
The red
I
hook.
had a jack.
Ouch.
I was going to say it, but that usually jinxes a person, so I didn't say it.
You waited till after. Good game. Good luck.
Just
Good game,
dips
Ron.
right into the cheek of Aram
So sick.
as he's fished right out of this pond. 4th for 70,000.
GG, bro. Thanks.
So the second soldier lost on this battlefield is Aram Zobian, not far behind Michael Burke, leaving 3 remaining here. And just look at Foxen, so far north of Ausmus and Dr. Jack, who are just separated by a couple of bigs. They've both locked up 94,500, but the next ladder, the most significant thus far, naturally, $42,000, and not one that they're going to want to miss out on. Blinds
How are
up
we
to
so
30,
deep?
60, and
Crazy.
60 to thin things out.
Like three-handed in a structure like this where shortest is 30 big blinds, kind of nuts.
Same with me and Chrissy and Sam the other day.
Yeah. It's happened every tournament. Brock and Brock and Shulman got heads up with like 180 big blinds in play or something crazy like that. I don't even really understand why. I can't.
Raise.
Well, we understand why Dr. Jack has said raise.
Raise 125.
2 kings.
Like, I think a lot of it has to do with people being on time, so stacks just get deeper, but I don't think it explains all of it. I don't know.
It's odd, because they've been doing the 30-minute levels for quite a while, right?
Yeah. Maybe there's something with like the 30-minute levels that we get less
That's disappointing.
entries. Yeah, big hand.
Waiting for your release.
That's what Salibo's saying.
Because nobody,
thinks
not as many rebuys, so
His
stacks.
average bullet's down like half a buy-in or something.
Yeah. Yeah, same, I think. Well,
Mine is too, but I assumed I was just running good, you know?
almost did it too. We could have checked it down, man.
Ausmus's turn to find a pair on the puck. One of his eights nestled beside an ace for Foxen. Reaching into the yellows
425.
and bringing forward 4 1/4 is Foxen now. Ace Jack
Oh, wow.
for Pan.
There's a world in which the cold 4, just grip and rip, is in play with ace jack, but does get out of the way. And now Ausmus. How to proceed with these 2 8s. You suspect the chip leader, Foxen, can be out of line. Of course, we can see he is.
Not reckless, but loose is this 3-bet and not durable enough to fade a jam. As Foxen gets snacked on by Ausmus.
Gloves are off. Ausmus came out swinging. Now clearly in second place as far as the positioning is concerned.
I think I had the best hand.
That's 28 million plus in career earnings on your screen
Ace
right
10.
there for the 46-year-old.
Not that good. Maybe you had me pipped then, if that's your guess.
60.
You know, like everybody keeps looking for the Fountain of Youth. I suspect it's somewhere on the Ausmus property.
Raise 120.
You know, he hasn't aged in what, a decade?
Yeah, he's 56, and he looks like he's, you know, a cool
He's not-
25. Look at this
stop
guy.
with the 56. He's 46.
Stunning. The Tom Brady of poker. Which, from what I understand, by the way, Brady, all he eats are strawberries. So there must be something to that Fountain of Youth fruit.
Sorry. That was not a good throw.
Where do you get your news?
No, that's a real fact. By the way, you know, I mentioned Brady, the Fountain of Youth, Ali. Speaking of youth, there she is. There she is. Martha, she's back only at playpokergo.com. You too can play totally free online poker. No deposits, no bots, no gimmicks. Pure poker. It's on all the devices. Go download it now. And I can't help but notice, Mr. Najad,
I don't think that was a script for the record.
that Brady and his healthy habits, Ausmus out there probably sucking down some sort of bone broth and having fruit. You're just over there devouring a bag of Funyuns. And I might add,
Yeah.
they look delicious.
Really, they are.
Would you mind if I have one with you? Could I have
You know,
a taste of your Funyun?
that was a really interesting line to take, to admonish me for the consumption of Funyuns and then immediately ask for some.
It's cheat day for me. You know, it's my Ozempic plan says that Saturdays are for slobbery. Let me
hold on. That one was
No,
broken.
that sides was good.
Well,
I like
that side was
yeah,
good? Okay, there
that's
you go.
you know, here we go. I'm just gonna is this how it's done here?
Oh yeah. Wow, that
Like
was
that?
Funyun ASMR.
Yeah. Oh, that's My God, was that nice.
I mean, by now, certainly a good quotient of the viewing audience has hit mute. And I'm not going to fault them.
No, they're here for it. The Funyun fanatics out there.
Yeah. Dream spot here for Foxen. I talked about 28 million plus for Ausmus. Try doubling that when you talk about Alex Foxen. 56 rather, 0.1 million for him across his career at just 35 years of age.
Yeah, it's really, I'm trying to think back when he just surged onto the scene. I want to say 2018, somewhere right around there. And what a spectacular stretch it's been for Foxen. Take a look at this outer field. See his wife, Chrissy, here at one of the tables. Chino Ream.
In bottom left.
Yeah, I saw Wild Bill up there. Bill Klein, he's back. He was in the upper left of your screen. And there he is. Brock the Brain, our USPO leader. 2 wins, 4 cashes. Ausmus. Laskowitz right on his tail.
Plenty of headlines. Not to be overshadowed, of course, the victories for both Brock Wilson's girlfriend, Cherish, right there. And, of course, Alex, who's one of our final 3. His wife, Kristen.
It's really historical what could happen, right? Cherish won an event. Brock Wilson, of course, has won 2. Chrissy Foxen won an event, and now could her husband, Alex Foxen, win an event. So it's really been a couples therapy at the U.S. Poker Open.
Picking up one in progress back at the feature where Dr. Jack made it $1.25, courtesy of Queen 10. Foxen defended with the ace-deuce, wants no further piece.
Big one again, or you got me this
And again,
time?
the doctor failing to kind of get value from Alex, who has dodged more than a few bullets.
Never bluff chip lead, okay?
Smart. Very smart.
Well, here's the crew as they showed up for work today.
Hey, Ausmus, wave to the camera like the doc did here. Come on, man.
The doc's still kind of low riding with the backpack, by the way. That's
Oh, wow.
there you go.
What do we have here?
Uh-oh.
Helmuth-like. Do you see that posturing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Zobian.
Sobian, yes.
Okay, did he go right
I
by?
think he's walked by the
Wow.
studio.
He forgot to turn
Yeah.
right. Foxen knows. He just follows the scent.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
that a
hang on.
fish hoodie?
Yeah, the band.
I love this guy.
Oh, hang
Wild
on. He's
Bill.
coming in hot. Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Zoom out.
Yeah,
Zoom out,
yeah,
guys.
come on in here.
That got dicey.
Didn't have Bill Klein as a
Well, you know,
a fish head.
I also didn't have him at the final table, and normally that's really the only people that we show. But Bill made the
No,
cut.
always
We're
Bill.
also happy to see him again.
Yes.
And he's famous for these walk-ins. He always brings something different.
You ever been to a fish concert, Ali?
No.
Oh, they are fantastic. I'm telling you, you should go.
But then
Check
you know,
it off
I
the
kinda-
bucket list.
It feels like, what is it, like a bunch of Ben and Jerry's pints and
No, that's,
you know,
Grateful Dead,
hash.
fish. You should go. It is really
I just, you know
a
what?
sight to behold.
And maybe there'll be a DVD.
You just have
At
to
some
be
point.
there in the audience. Inhale that secondhand goodness from the heavens above. And you'll drift off right into Narnia.
You know, I don't know that it's from the heavens above. I suspect it's more from the homeless-looking gentleman to the side. You know, kind of a rough grip, you know, unkempt. maybe.
Yeah, but it's good stuff.
You enjoy it, Brent.
I have been to a few. here in Vegas.
I believe you. Ausmus not believing Foxen, though. 3-scoop application. Pushing back from the big here with this ace. We await Foxen's response. Extra 380 to proceed with this
2.5
pretty
million.
one. Oh, and he's not going that direction. He's just going to smack Ausmus up, and Jeremy concedes. That's always a possible outcome when you pop your head up.
Just laying down the law is Alex Foxen, the tank. Look at that pile, that castle. He's got 65% of the chips. It feels like it's his to lose at this point.
I also think he's got about 98% of that cold brew knocked out. At this point, it's just the ice melting that's going to leave you with anything.
I had you. Had you in bad shape with my 9 deuce. Oh,
Yeah. Be tough to hang on, maybe.
You ever drop a little acid, Ollie?
You know I'm running too good for you to win with 9 deuce there.
Really?
No, that's not your
probably
thing.
wasn't gonna work out.
I mean, I'm like pretty famously on record as being not straight edge because that's my lifestyle,
Yeah.
but just not about any of it. No judgment,
Oh no, you know.
but just, you know, never a cigarette, Western meds, try to avoid,
really.
no drugs ever,
Wow.
barely ever had any alcohol, like just
Yeah.
none of it, man. That was a really weird, you know.
Was just curious, you know.
Didn't I answer that on the application when I first worked for PokerGo? I mean, you could always go into my file as a CEO and kind of get your answers there.
I don't think. Do we ask that?
I mean, maybe just a generic question. Yours was a little more pointed and a bit out of place, if I'm being honest. I know you're playing off the fish thing.
Just want to get right to the point here.
Want to talk about placing.
Yeah.
3.4, that is the average starting position for Alex Foxen, and then he works his way north from there by 0.6 slots. Chip leader 22% of the time he shows up at one of these things, and I don't think that catches anybody by surprise when you consider stylistically his approach to poker. Very much likes
2 million.
to play from in front.
King 5 of clubs good enough to just pile it home and send them all in. Ausmus knows too, man. He could totally be doing this with garbage, and I just don't think I can call it off with A7. We'll see. You know, I believe I read that President Trump has made it some sort of order to go ahead and fast track psychedelics for treatment, make it, you know, medicinal.
That
acid,
I,
if
that
you
I
will.
support, by the way.
Yeah.
I think a lot of veterans have kind of linked up with the psilocybin and
Yeah.
got that PTSD ironed right out.
Yeah.
And
What-
by the way, just, you know, as someone suffering from a bit of PTSD across the last few days beside you, perhaps a magical shroom or two might be required at the end of this. And I
Attaboy.
could bill you.
I'm happy to hear that. You should really, you know, explore what the earth has to offer.
The other approach, by the way, and I don't want this to be overlooked, is you should really consider not putting me through some of this. You know what I mean? That's an alternative. Just something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I will.
King,
Meanwhile-
Queen, 7. Top pair against an open-ender here. Advantage Ausmus. Limped one pre.
Well, there certainly will be action. Foxen really deliberating how much to bet. This open ender does decide on 75,000.
Just check calling here. A 9 would be catastrophic for Jeremy. Instead, it's a 3.
So far, so good. And now comes the curiosity, at least for our end as viewers. And Foxen, betting the flop, what do you do after you've been check called and you possess the open ender? World in which we take the equity to the dome. He does check back.
Does not improve, however.
And I like this. By the way, a horrible card for Foxen. If Ausmus calls you on that type of flop and you're holding the Jack 10, well, guess what? Ausmus either has a king, queen, or a 7. I don't see bluffs working.
And just 100K out there from Ausmus, trying to ensure that a little bit of value is cobbled in the event Foxen has one that he can call with.
He's got some thoughts going on, right? Could Jack 10 ever be worthy of a call on this type of texture?
I got to tell you, there's something about the way that chip came in that
Yeah.
skewed it away from a 7 and more toward a queen or a king for me. Maybe I'm making a meal of things, but you
Right.
could see Foxen questioning whether or not if he were to just rise up there,
There were some thoughts going on.
Ausmus wouldn't have been blended.
Also call within reason, but you hate having a 10 in your hand, right? You want Ausmus to have the 9-10.
yeah, I don't think the Jack high call. Really? You think
Yeah,
Jack 10 is
there's you know, as
chewing on that?
Schulman would say, there's some sort of idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't be out of this world. Isn't there a famous hand? Call me with Jack High.
Is there a famous
Jack
hand?
High. Yeah, oh yeah, it was a long time ago. World
Sounds
Series
like
of
Billy
Poker.
Baxter. Or Doc Jennings.
Guy wandered out into the parking lot. They followed him outside after the hand, and he was calling and telling having a dart, smoking one there on the street, saying, "This guy called me with Jack High."
That's great.
Yeah. You've never seen this hand?
No, I don't think I
Oh,
have.
God. Classic.
10 seconds.
Not exactly a classic, this 10-5 off, but a familiar sight. Foxen being abusive here, a suited king. Far enough up in the range for Dr. Jack, and he's taking his turn asking questions of Alex. Does feel like a bit of a mood shift out there. Remember, Foxen came with a 4-bet against Ausmus. But this is a very different proposition. Not just the fact that he only has 10-5, but also it's Dr. Jack putting the third scoop in there. And
Way to
suited king.
find it
Yeah.
for Dr. Jack. This guy really can show up with wonderful moves. He knows what to do. Coming after Foxen, saying, buddy, you just don't have it all the time. You have to fight back. Dr. Jack's got that fight in him. He's got that dog in him.
You know, there's a Seidelian aura about Dr. Jack insofar as he's very content to fly under the radar,
Love that.
show up day in and day out, perform, and doesn't need any of the fanfare, none of the attention, just out here doing my thing, and then back home when it's all done, you know?
Love it. What does the shirt say? Did it say like 011 Poker Doctor? Is that his online screen name?
Could be. I think he's had that jacket, the 011
The
poker
undershirt
jacket.
every day now?
I don't know about the undershirt, but I do know about this pocket fours maneuver from Ausmus. This time able to profit off of his response to an Alex Open.
I'm stuck on the wardrobe here, Ali. I've seen the full tilt black card jacket
Right.
that Dr. Jack's wearing,
Yes.
and then underneath has been this shirt. And is he wearing it every day, or just for final tables? I'm uncertain. I'll get to the bottom of it. I need to know if that is his go-to everyday apparel, much like Helmuth in his now Under Armour gear. You know, the same tracksuit
last time.
every single day of
too.
the
I had
week,
much better.
every
Oh, you did.
venue.
You improved a lot. I
Dig.
might have had the same suits.
Well, I didn't.
They
You
were-
did?
Me.
Yeah.
They were both black. Last time might have been switched.
Spooky.
Yep. Walk maxing.
Gratitude maxing.
What's that?
Gratitude maxing.
Ausmus has got himself a fever.
Nichols. Bring in the Mercury North.
This maxing conversation that we're hearing. You know,
He
walk back-
Foxen's loving it, by the way. He did say he's all in on the max.
He is, but I think I looked into this, and I'm not saying this to be offensive. So, you know, the cancel culture crew just I believe it all started with the phrase, and Nick Schulman actually brought it to my attention during the live high stakes poker as retard maxing. You familiar with this? It's the origins of maxing.
No, I'm not.
I wasn't either. I had to look into this, but it is this is the lore now.
And thank goodness that you were here to kind of bring forward the origin of it. Brent, what would we have done without that?
I was just informing you. I don't want you to become a boomer overnight.
Right. You know what's crazy? I wasn't really worried about that.
2 million.
Whatsoever. And yet you felt compelled.
I did.
You know, and I
Looking
just want
out
to
for
make
you.
sure that you know, any of the closed captioning,
Can't
or,
let
you
you
know,
pull
anyone
that
just
shit
kind
again out
of
of the big one.
listening
Yeah,
to an
it was,
excerpt of that. I am Ali. This is my voice, the one that you
Pressure
heard moments
maxing.
ago.
Yeah.
It was
First mover advantage.
taking us down the maxing origins. That was Brent Hanks, Chief Executive Officer of PokerGo.
That's right. You can follow me on Twitter at Buffalo Hanks.
You know what the crazy thing is? You can also unfollow him on Twitter at that very same handle.
Oh, I love it. Oh, man.
No walk maxing.
Walk maxing. I don't think so. Not with King Queen.
Brent, why don't you tell us what the origins of maxing? No,
Flop.
why don't you not? Jeremy limps. 5-6 off, allowing it and turning into middle pair here on an ace-high board. No spades, and either holding. Foxen sprinkles 60 out there.
Yeah, this is frustrating. You just limp in with the King Queen, hoping that Foxen would have activated. And now you're just sort of guessing along the way. The powers of King Queen must call. Could still be the best hand.
Board pairing 3, by the way, could keep that King Queen curious potentially. But the issue is, you know, you limped. Foxen checks back. He could have a random 3, a 6.
And also
Maybe
an
we don't
ace.
think the ace is there all that often, but not impossible.
Yeah, I think Ausmus has plenty of just ace-x limps, but, you know, to your point, sort of in a strange land when you're Foxen. There's that idea of that, you know, turn blockerish bet for value, which is exactly what we're seeing right now out of Foxen. And anytime this streak gets called, we're trying to get to showdown by knuckling back various rivers, right?
Yeah, half pot under consideration now for Ausmus.
This is just beautiful by Foxen. He's getting called by significantly worse. And let's watch and see, depending on texture. This is a great one. The spade, if Foxen's plan was just to go check, check. There it is.
King Queen.
Max value with 6-5.
Yep. 2 streets of chiseling, and those chips are so much more precious to Ausmus than they are to Foxen, and he's quite content, by the way, to keep a
Very
thumb down
reminiscent
on
of
the 2 of those
hand
stacks.
we played yesterday on 8-8-3 Queen Ace. I was just like, no ace, no ace. And that one I was like, no king.
Shout
Yeah,
out
I
to the
got
chat.
everything,
We're with
man.
you here.
Right there.
No matter where you're tuning in from, our PokerGo YouTube channel, on the PokerGo SVOD, or of course any of your favorite
wish.
PokerGo channels,
I
whether it be Pluto, Sling, DirecTV, Amazon Prime, many others. We're here. I'm Hanks. He's Ali. And we're watching poker, event number 7 here at the U.S. Poker Open.
We're watching the lesser seen Open from someone other than Alex Foxen, but Ausmus recognizing that he can't simply sit back forever.
Steel
Jack 10
maxing.
offsuit qualifies.
Steel maxing?
Honest poker. Did you see it?
No.
By the way, Ali,
It
chat
seemed like a no-sider, though.
sort of suggesting that maybe
No?
Fish is
No.
at the Sphere
Just saw,
tonight.
like,
Do you
a
have any
tiny
plans
sliver
to
and I
see
didn't
if
see anything.
I
but
definitely do not. They also
Those
were
are 10.
suggesting that your,
the opposite of a no-sider.
you know, research on the origins of this maxing thing.
I get that wrong at such like an alarmingly high rate. Like
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I think
That's
I
just
saw
wrong.
a red 5, and they have like
A queen.
10 of
Can't be
spades
true.
or-
You
yeah,
know
or
I do
like
my
a,
research.
Jack of spades or something. Like I
Buddy,
don't know
you
how
fire
I thought
off
I saw that.
a typo-laden Google search thread, and then just the first result, you're in.
2 million.
You know, you're ready to amplify anything. Speaking of amplifications,
If it's on the internet, it must be true.
right? Yeah. How's that working out for you? Queen 7 suited. Champ, look at this. You know, Burj Khalifa. This is
Make it 2.
thankfully no Shaheed drones
Yeah.
in the air inside the studio, but he's just
Just about 70% of the chips in play. He has been unstoppable.
architectural
It'd
feat.
be really cool if we can eventually convert these to hands per level at the FT.
Yeah, yeah. What's the problem with it? Why can't?
I have no idea. I think it's a production thing. There's like
130.
I don't know. They're worried about communicating how many hands are left. That's what I was told. Didn't really make sense to me, but
I'll answer that.
okay. There's a reason though beyond that.
It's coming.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's no more data.
As far as like how many hands to put,
The final table truly lasts, how many hands per level.
that makes sense.
We were afraid to trial it.
8-4
Yeah.
Trey. Couple of hearts here after Foxen
I mean, you could always start with like the two minutes per hand type of deal,
called the Dr. Jack Open.
like around that. You know, I think 2 or 2.5. You know, something in that neighborhood. I feel like makes sense.
Dr. Jack's 10-7 suited. Not in the mood to see bet this texture. Board pairing 3 now. Let's see if Alex reads into a check back on the flop as being largely honest. Looks that way. 225K. Just really nowhere to go for the doctor.
Not really, but, you know, if he bluffed, it would work. Hard to make sense of it, but I would give the good doctor credit.
10 seconds.
Just look like a man that would ever be up to no good. What is the card protector? We'll get back to that, but
Black
it
Knight
just
deuce
caught
again.
my eye.
I might have had the
Wow.
exact same hand 3 times in a row. I think it was 3 orbits in a row. Oh no, never mind.
You
I
typically
can't
know
last time.
what these trinkets
3
are.
or 4.
Ali.
3 or 4. Pretty,
Let your
pretty
keen
wide.
observations figure that one out throughout the remainder of the show.
Well, here's the remainder of the 5 players that embarked upon this journey. Alex Foxen continuing to reign supreme over Ausmus and Dr. Jack. We're going to step aside for just about 1 minute. More from the U.S. Poker Open in about 60 seconds.
Want to play online poker for free? With PlayPokerGo, you get the thrill of authentic poker anytime, anywhere. From quick casual games to action-packed tournaments, PlayPokerGo lets you compete against real players around the globe, all for free. No bots, no gimmicks, just pure poker fun. Hone your skills and enjoy the poker experience you love. Explore PlayPokerGo on web, iOS, and Android. Deal yourself in now.
Welcome back to continuing coverage of event number 7 here at the 2026 U.S. Poker Open. Event number 7, another one of these 10Ks and another 5-handed final table to start the broadcast. Down to 3 already, 2 here in the booth. Yours truly, Ali Najad, alongside Brent Hanks. Alex Foxen has been the big boss man Perhaps an apropos moniker considering WrestleMania is descending upon Las Vegas this weekend. $94,500 will be descending upon the career tallies for all three of these players, but the extra 42 available if you can book a trip to Heads Up in what seems so likely to be against Alex Foxen. That's what awaits either Ausmus or Dr. Jack. Not to be presumptuous, stranger things have happened. Level 20 upon us now. Bad news, of course, for Pan and Ausmus. 40, 80, and 80, 200 in orbit, the price of poker.
And both of these stacks
Big
now
one's 80, right?
south of 20 bigs. Very little room for error. And a nice start so far for Ausmus. King 8 suited is best. And I believe Dr. Jack is going to want to play some defense here with King 5 suited. Wow, and just out as the short stack. I'm surprised.
I think it's one of those things where he assigns Ausmus the narrower range appropriately as opposed to Foxen and kind of questions the performance. I think there have been more than a few occasions on which situations have been approached where Dr. Jack very consistently skews toward the conservative approach, right? The side of the spectrum where let me just keep things less murky for myself.
Well, this one, however, not murky. Very clear, crystal, in fact. Foxen with the goods. A couple of mallards, all in.
My hot hand today. Red. this
Nobody
time.
with anything with
God,
which to
I had
resist.
one over.
Attaboy, Foxen.
That's the worst shape you've been in so far.
Well, if you're looking to sharpen your game, check out Octopi Poker, the all-in-one training platform built for serious players without a high price. From GTO tools to structured learning, it's everything you need to level up. Get 10% off annual plans for a limited time with promo code USPO. Head to octopipoker.ai and start improving today.
Where the heck has Chidwick been? Saw him there on that ad for Octopi Poker, and boy, I haven't seen Chidwick in months.
He's playing super high rollers, my friend, around the world.
Well, yeah, but he's usually always here too.
1.4.
Huh?
He'll be back for the summer. I think you'll see him playing stuff over at the World Series.
All in.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you see Foxen jamming over the top of Ausmus's A6, open to ensure that the 65 he held back gets in as well, and we suddenly play for $3 million. Advantage Foxen in a very real way. Ausmus was 465K clear of Dr. Jack coming into this spot. You see him maybe reflecting upon the choice.
Do you have a 6, Jack?
No. I had too hard.
Nice.
No straight for you.
Here comes the flop. King, King 5. Opportunities for the dominated ace now. Can Ausmus find relief? 5 would do the trick for the time being. Add a 3 to the equation. 6 is the clean winner. Can Jeremy keep his seat, or is Foxen gonna blast into the stratosphere and book a ticket to Heads Up? It is the chop.
Oh, man. Ausmus is so good in those spots, avoiding elimination. Chop it up, fellas.
I'll tell you what, it's better than the 6 rolling off, but if I'm Foxen, I'm a little annoyed. You know, caught my man in a bad way, and I gotta go sharesies.
What a scam. You win chips, I lose chips on that hand. This game, man.
Yep.
This game.
Scam confirmed.
I wonder what
Sweet
Foxen's going to do.
Don't wonder too long. Do you wonder what Dr. Jack's gonna do? Because I can help you.
Straight to the bin, Ali.
Well, that's where eights have ended up. That's where an ace-jack has ended up. Sevens, as I recall, as well.
Yep.
Upper crust merchandise.
Folding makes money, though. Three-handed,
It
Dr.
almost
Jack.
did a moment ago.
Yep.
Well, there he is, the powerhouse Alex Foxen. His PGT stats, just look at them. 112 cashes, third all-time. 78 FT, second all-time. 44 podiums and 19.3 in earnings. Those are #1 figures in the 12 PGT titles. Well, that's second all-time. Who do you think's #1 all-time PGT titles? I feel like we know because they already showed up at an FT here.
#1 all-time PGT. It's not Safro, right? I mean, I would have thought it was
That's
Foxen,
not a bad
but
guess. For a second, I thought it was Ausmus, but he's actually 4th all-time with 9.
could be Chidwick.
Safro's not a bad guess. Actually.
Yeah, you know, we'll find out.
Most of the time you ask a question, you know the answer, but in that
go to the
situation,
stats department. Confirmed it is,
It is,
Sam
yeah.
Savro. I nailed it.
What with Savro immersed in the world of high-stakes slots, Foxen and, for that matter, Chidwick was tied for second all-time with him
195.
in PGT titles, with an opportunity to overtake Savro. Foxen taking over matters in a limped one pre, a suited king for Ausmus.
Sort of brutal for Ausmus, knowing that Dr. Jack has 10 bigs. And look at this, just limp folds the king 6 suited, so painful. By the way, third all time. You might have heard of this guy. How about Daniel Negreanu?
Really?
That's right.
Lucky chip.
That's a
no,
bit of a
those are at the bottom.
sleeper because he doesn't put in the volume
Used
these
to.
days.
Now
You
he's
need
just
to get
golfing.
through all of
Okay.
it
The tough job.
without any luck, and then
it's tough
then you'll get lucky.
You know, if he threw a slot machine onto the back of a golf cart, he could get Sovril out there on the links with him. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, a little huff and puff.
Well, Huff and Puff all in for Fox and ace 8.
Looking to blow Dr. Jack's house down.
Next time.
Pans out.
No
No surprise
hand.
there.
Listen.
Uh-huh.
Leave it alone, Brent.
Yep.
Hold.
Yep.
Guys, take it down. He can't. He's not going to last much longer.
Well,
Proud of
that
you.
I will.
1.5.
Just north of 1 million, the declaration from Foxen, and Dr. Jack finally finding one that he's willing to dig in with, down to just 640K. He knows Ausmus isn't going to give him the gift of a ladder unless he makes a move of his own. He is taking the best of it. And what becomes a 1.4 million chip pot is back against the wall. 3-2 favorite going into
wow.
it, and well, no club on board.
hard to
Top
overcome.
2, and you are correct, Mr. Foxen. Very hard to overcome.
Just
now
dead.
officially
Right?
drawn dead.
Wow.
4, 5, 6, 40. Yep.
Huge double
Listen.
up for Dr. Jack. Now he is second in chips. Ausmus
No,
becomes
they're
the
all
short
way
stack.
down there. You got a few more to go.
No, but you already give me lucky chip, right? Otherwise, I would not win.
By the way, that is a demoralizing development there
Maybe
for
they're luckier
Ausmus.
than average, but not
Yeah,
not the
okay.
real lucky ones.
Okay.
So on the back end of that one, 18 bigs for Pan, 13 for Ausmus. Foxen takes a walk.
Out of 3.
We're sharing a lot of cards today.
We are.
You know, if the poker thing doesn't work out for Foxen, I do believe that the WWE is the next step. The Foxen Maniacs. Imagine him just ripping that shirt off, going nuts.
Sure, any sport that requires, you know, physical dominance, I think would be a safe alternative. But listen, 56 million plus in career tournament earnings. I don't think career change is on his mind. Once upon a time, the career for Jack Pan, a doctor, but now perhaps more a professor of poker science. You see his 2026 has been quite tidy with 15 cashes, 6 podiums, 10 FTs, and a couple of titles, cobbling together almost $1 million in earnings and placing him number 2 on the PGT leaderboard this year.
And I love that he can play all the games. By the way, that's an absolute poker jack.
You know, I mean, this guy really fantastic.
Oh, man. He's got
I mean, it's all the throwback swag.
Yeah. Wow.
Second in chips right now. I mean, he's got to just wear an ultimate bet like hat or something tomorrow,
It's
right?
coming. Yeah, it's got to be coming.
1.4 in front of him. Ausmus at $1 million and change. 5 blinds separating the two as we are experiencing a brief pause in the action. But I don't think we're going to be pressing pause on the program for Alex Foxen, not unless one of these two double through him maybe, and now he has to navigate against a much deeper stack. But under 20 bigs for both. Certainly plenty of ICM pressure to be placed upon the shoulders of whomever is in second.
225.
Yeah,
able
I
to
love
do
this
so on
too.
this occasion with
His hand
tens.
is too good. He's just going to do a standard raise, hoping that Pan shoves light, rather than just pile driving it all in, inducing action. Unfortunately for those tens,
Whoa.
none to be found.
But I don't have good hand.
You know what's crazy is you might otherwise think that when someone's wearing merch from a particular poker site that they were sponsoring the player, but just given the defunct nature of every single piece of poker clothing that Dr. Jack has worn this week, we know that no such arrangements are in place.
I can't wait for the, was it Pacific Poker?
Then you take your
You know?
pick. True Poker,
Yeah.
you know. Bodog. Is Bodog still a thing?
I don't think Bodog is a thing. Didn't they? They
mean,
went
they
to like
were.
Bovada, and then they,
Right.
I mean, they kind of just, maybe they're still out there in some way, shape, or form.
Is William Hill Poker, Caribbean Sun, that kind of like
Isn't that a sports book?
Interpoker? Yeah, but for a while they had some online poker going, as I recall. Raised and taken. Oh, not yet. 9-5 suited for Foxen. Forgive me.
I might want to play a little
Didn't see
D.
the cards. Yeah, could see it. Flicks in the price of admission.
Okay. Yep.
Diamond draw on a queen high board for Foxen. Just ace high for the doctor.
Oh, this gets frustrating for the doctor no matter how he plays it. So hard for him to just win the pot. And I say that because now Foxen just has the opportunity. This type of texture could just go check call, but check pile driver also within reason with just the flush draw. Yep, there it
1.2.
is. Hit him with the stunner.
Boy, that 250 was fairly precious. He just desperately wanted to pick it up then and there, and instead he's faced with the need to call all in. He's got the best hand, but of course, just no real path. Back down to 790. Goes Pan. Didn't take long for Foxen to claw back the double up. North of 7 million in front of him. 81% of the chips in play. 65% VPIP.
I need a lucky chip again.
It's been a while since we've seen someone just completely steamroll one of these final tables with nearly no adversity whatsoever.
He's the guy for the job, though, too. Hang
Oh,
on,
here we
though.
go. Maybe a mush on my end.
Jack 7, not the hand for the job, it would seem, against an ace-king, but 2-1 favorite is Dr. Jack. That means 33% of the time, somehow, Foxen books this trip to heads up. Ausmus certainly hoping that the Jack 7 delivers a beat. Not looking likely on this flop.
All right, keep it low.
Nervy moments for Dr. Jack, lessened by the queen. Now, sticks and hooks, the only things to be faded. And mission accomplished for Dr. Jack is, again, he doubles through Alex. I'll tell you what, that shot of Dr. Jack as he was sweating it. We just saw that board. His 2026 has been so replete with results. He still feels it.
Confidence all in
Of course.
Far from
You
jaded.
can't lose.
Where else would he rather be?
Then right here, right now.
Can I get change from someone?
Just shy of 20 bigs for Dr. Jack. Foxen, a little hiccup. Still has nearly 75% of the chips in play. Going back to work with napkins.
Give me. That's right. He
I
didn't
thought
give
you
me
gave
two.
too much.
No, I gave him 5 instead of a quarter.
He gave me 20 change.
Okay.
He gave me a quarter and I gave him 5 back.
I thought he, whatever. Okay.
But it looked like he gave me 2 because at first he
I
gave
thought
me
it was the
wrong
other way
chip.
around, though. I thought he gave, whatever. I thought he gave you not enough.
At first he didn't.
Right.
He was giving me a blue at first.
I see.
So then I threw it back and then I threw back another blue.
Six-five off. Just this sense of powerlessness when you've got 700 in front of you.
Such a brutal hand, and yeah, we're just out. Can't even shove.
And you feel it. You know, Jeremy's a guy who wants to fight, but that's just not the right ammo.
You just want a big card. Give me a big card. Queen 5, and we're in.
It just, the image is right, isn't it? Alex just jacked, and then the chip stack kind of
Yeah.
lines up nicely.
Yeah. Foxen now gets to go to work on the doctor. Look at all this pressure being applied.
Jack 7 offsuit last time around. This time Jack 9, the
Can't get
same exact
overconfident
hand
with dollars, no.
that Pan has. Alex trying to usher him into the bin.
It's sort of crazy, right? If Dr. Jack had like ace 10, he
is
might
no good.
fold. Knowing Ausmus is so short.
He already skews toward that side of the spectrum, as we touched on earlier, and 42,000 is nothing to scoff at in terms of that ladder. And Jeremy knows that Dr. Jack is just so unlikely to do him any favors in any spot that's remotely close.
$2 million.
Unleash the fury. Did Ausmus wake up? We're not sure yet. Here we go. No.
Right now.
Just some cards I'm getting today.
Ausmus is breathless. He's not used to picking up these types of hands. Usually it's a premium, you know, every third shuffle.
You know, I think it was you that alluded to the fact that there is still this perception that Ausmus sun runs and, you know, he just gets gifted great spots.
Am I the only one getting good hands every time?
But 2025 was not
I guess
particularly
Jack's got a
kind
few
to him.
going.
Look at this stat, Ali.
Yeah, a decade's worth of
10 years in a
plus.
row.
How about it, huh?
Wow.
Here's what I'm going to say, though. With the volume that Alex does and the buy-ins that he plays, it is not a given that every single one of those years he was in the black. And I think it's important to remember that. The assumption is, of course, whenever we go, hey, the guy made this much last year, that, oh, he must have, it's all profit. Like, no.
No. Yeah. Ausmus will start things off on the button. Less than, well, right around 5 bigs, but super short. And, oh, boy, puke. 9-4 off. And Foxen just keeps being able to do this and attack the good doctor.
Such a dreamy setup right now for Foxen, where you have someone in Dr. Jack who's just going to stick to the plan, and you've got a guy in Ausmus
Sorry, that was
Kind of hard to make change across.
who
Only guy who can
just
make me
can't
change
really
is
hurt
Cody.
you at
when I
this
have to
point.
when I have
Nope.
to give you 8 chips, it's.
Yeah, it's not very convenient.
Did you? Is this mine? I guess so.
I think you gave me mine.
Yeah, you got the right amount.
Yeah, I think so. 80, right? 5, 1.
You know, I think next year's trophy, what was that fish? The Billy Big Mouth Bass or something you could put up on the wall, and then it had like a
loudmouth bass.
loudmouth bass, and then you press the button and it wiggles a little bit and then
Yeah.
sings some kind of song. Next year's Eagle trophy,
Just about
You want
5,
one of
right?
those?
we should have a speaker built into the base and then a number of different options.
I love it.
Mine's right.
You know,
F3.
I
maybe
love
even
it.
record your own voice in there, and then anytime, you know, motion activated, maybe some flapping.
He gets
Absolutely
extra
love
time
it.
to count his stack because.
I'm gonna let you have that idea for free, Brent. How's that?
Thank you, Ali.
Foxen's not making anything free. Ausmus,
Preferential
Painful.
treatment.
2 blinds lost there.
I'll give one up. I don't really need these here. I'm not gonna need those. I don't think. I mean, I just did, so maybe I will need them.
Yeah.
Because I thought that wasn't right. That the orbit before, I actually thought it wasn't right, but
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if it was.
I mean, yeah. I was obviously just messing around. I don't care if you get a new clock.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I hope that's obvious.
So I have 4. Yeah, no, it was 4.
Take it.
All right.
That's a very foreign experience for Jeremy Ausmus, who decided I can wait no longer. And his 8-5 suited catches Foxen with one he can't call.
I thought you were calling. I saw you go like that. I
I mean,
thought you were
yeah.
calling.
Usually I am calling.
Yeah. Fake me out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Ace on the button. And once again, it's go time, leaving a little something back.
430.
Foxen's already out of the way, and Dr. Jack soon to follow, I would imagine. Yep.
It was actually more than that.
Big pickup for Ausmus.
Uh-huh.
No,
it was 4.
It's 4:30. You left
4:30.
35 behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the ICU right now. Everybody's gathered around the glass trying to see if he's going to make it. And, you know, oddly, they're rooting against that.
Oh. You always throw me
Just
off.
pull him off life support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone has said their goodbyes.
Hey, listen, Ausmus hasn't waved farewell just yet. That's hello from Foxen yet again. Just a min raise this time, and the doctor with the ace-10 off.
Yeah, this is brutal. I mentioned ace-10 exactly earlier.
Yeah.
And look at that in the muck.
He is not going to do Ausmus any favors whatsoever, but some could make the claim that he's not doing himself any either, because the longer this goes on, the more he ends up bleeding out in
Yeah, he's just
the
kinda
process.
saying, I'll take second. Yeah.
That is a little bit of the declaration. And if you're enjoying the US Poker Open on your screen, you can enjoy it online as well now through April 26th, where you can get in on the action. Daily tourneys, big guarantees, and a chance to win a Vegas prize package all could be yours at globalpoker.com, where the US Poker Open happens online. All right, ace in the small now. Ausmus plunks out almost all of it.
505?
Seems right, but I saved 10.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I think we saw queen high for Foxen.
Yeah, briefly, and now it's back.
Might be really close to call territory, believe it or not, Ali.
Call.
Yeah, and he will call.
495, you said, right?
So right around 6 or so bigs
not
for
all in.
Ausmus. And they're not all in yet. 10K behind for Ausmus.
Wow, such a good hand.
My hand's face up.
What the hell? It's perfect.
But you wouldn't know for, right? You accept
Maybe ace, I
Yeah.
fold.
Ace high hanging on here. Remember, it was ace-6 against ace-jack where Ausmus chopped it up. Looked like he was maybe going to be out the door on that occasion.
Oh,
But
they just
queen
ran
high
that out, yeah.
for Foxen.
Okay. Check.
Never guess what I have.
Wow. Thought you had an ace.
Big double up for Ausmus. Now
Missed
he
out
in.
on 10K on the
The
flop.
doctor neck and neck.
Yeah. I was calling the turn, too.
You might have noticed there, our tournament director, Paul Campbell, coming over with a few cards. 3 players remaining, so 1 through 3 hands chosen at random as the number of hands remaining in this blind level. And this ensures that nobody kind of conducts this strange stall to try to make a big blind, increase, land on a specific player.
Foxen, I believe.
Landing on a Dr. Jack big blind, 9-6.
Things should, I'd like to see Pan adjust. I'm not suggesting that queen 10 is a call, but the fact that Ausmus now has us covered and it's very even in stacks, I expect him to start considering calling with better hands. You know, that ace-10 would no longer hit the muck. That's certainly in. Queen 10, though, this one's tough. Yeah, he will fold.
You know, at some point I have to win an all-in, so can't just lose every turn.
So let's keep an eye on Dr. Jack. I don't think those real tight folds will continue.
Well, we're going to find out sooner or later whether or not they're going to add up to a 42K pay ladder. But as it stands, Ausmus's patience rewarded as he is 2 blinds north of Dr. Jack in what is a battle for the ladder. Who's going to go up a rung? We're waiting to find out, and Alex Foxen is profiting in the process. This feels like a Magnum PI. Kind of, wow, no
now
sooner do I say
shifted
that.
over.
Top contender billing for Jeremy Aumsus, and you can see why. 388 cashes across his career with 146 FTs, 61 podium finishes, and very evenly split, 20 of each with 1 more in the bronze medal category. I wonder if that's inclusive of today's 3rd place. That would be wrong, of course, because he still got a shot. I thought maybe they had him in there.
Giving him 3rd? Is that? You wrote him off, the 2024 PGT Player of the Year, Jeremy Ausmus. He said his hands full today. Really difficult to get anything going. It has been all Alex Foxen.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
No.
'Cause you might just check it down. Yeah, you might just not.
I think
even
it's-
put
I
it
think
in
it's-
with a better hand.
I think
It's
what
not
you
going to
do
get
is-
any
yeah,
easier
definitely
now.
not.
Levels up to 50K,
It
100K.
just sucks when I bet on the river.
Yeah, when you bet on the river, it
You have to
sucks.
call, but
It's 100. 100.
50, 100.
Guess who?
Yep.
A hand that warrants it, at least on this occasion.
Yeah, hammer right on the table.
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Man. Be willing to risk more than 10 big blinds with that one.
Yeah.
Who was the superhero that had a? Was it Thor? Thor had a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's. Is he like?
Alex Thor Foxen?
Yeah, or just call him the Hammer.
I could see that.
Yeah. I think that works.
I would ask him if he's okay with it first.
Oh, he will be. Yeah.
But, you know, what if he isn't?
What is that he's drinking? I've never seen anything like that. What was that bottle of gypsy juice? What is that?
So first off, I don't think we can go. Okay.
What was that?
I don't. It was something he drank, man.
I have
don't
6.
know, you-
Some sort of elixir from the
well,
gods.
I don't know.
750.
750. Yeah.
I think
That
it's
one,
not
100 is
bad.
no longer his.
Yeah, he
That's
will
kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really got overly excited in that spot.
Well, has he discovered the fountain of youth? What is in that?
We've
Make
well
it
established
750.
Jeremy Aumsus is the
Maybe they all have.
owner of the Fountain of Youth. Oh, that's true. Not
We're
impossible.
gambling.
Oh, we're all in.
Yeah, Queen 3 offsuit. Foxen says, show me, and Pan says, sure, with Ace 7. 1.6 million chip pot.
One of each of your guys' cards.
I hope it was the 3.
You guys,
Me.
you guys do the math. It wasn't, unfortunately.
King 5-4,
Three
ace
for a
high,
flip.
still in front.
6 will be fine, right?
I think 3 is way more fun.
Whoa.
Deuce is kind of cool,
Ooh.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Foxen
didn't even
now
think about that one.
adding aces and 6s to the queens that he sought. The 3 is no good, as that would give Pan the wheel, and the 9 is clean, as Dr. Jack won't go away.
Yeah.
Third
something like that.
time, I believe, doubling up through Alex Foxen.
The
Too
corners
many.
in the
Too
room,
many.
Yeah, is the confidence growing every time?
and they just can't sign the death certificate.
Is that
Yeah, but
5
this really-
consecutive all-ins and a
Yeah.
loss for Foxen, despite having such a large chip lead? I believe it is.
Hard
Yeah.
to win four in a row.
Yeah.
Six deuce off. I feel like isn't going to cut it. Sure enough, into the bin.
How could you fall?
Well, I can't win all ins. Why would I even, just let you guys fight it out.
Would sort of just love a limp rather than a fold, but that's just because
Kings?
I'm sick and I want to see 4-3 suited get mixed up.
Good guess, though. I was going to call him Jack.
You will call me?
Yeah, I didn't have a great one, but I had a mediocre one.
$875 for Ausmus. He'll be in the small.
I don't need a good card, so I can fall confident.
Yeah,
you know, you have a good card and you got trouble.
You hope for bad
Yeah,
cards here.
yeah. Okay, now
Either bad or really good.
yeah, right.
Well, on the topic of really good, 10s for Ausmus. Can he take a turn doubling through once again? Jack 3 off for Foxen.
He wins, he wins.
It's okay, he can let them nibble. What he doesn't want is for them to suddenly both find the big double and some comfort, some breathing room. Octopi Poker stats tracker on Jeremy Aumsus. He outperforms his average starting position at final tables. Chip leader just 13% of the time, but the all-in equity does suggest that he is running better than expected, 53% plus.
Back to work for Foxen, and he's
1.6.
going to try Queen 3 offsuit again. Take it for a spin.
I like that Foxen, and listen, he's got more than enough chips to kind of anesthetize himself to some of the frustrations of not having been able to eliminate either Ausmus or Dr. Jack, despite so many all-in and calls against them. But he's, he's holding it together. He's not, it just is what it is.
Yeah. You're right.
And staying the course. Queen 5 off this time. More lunch money.
It is just so easy to accumulate for Foxen. It's hard to believe he's lost either 4 or 5 consecutive all-ins, doubling these guys up and still able to maintain a stranglehold on all the chips. That is 75% of the chips in play.
Good, no good.
Make it tough on
Suited
Jimmy over
one
here.
gapper. And here comes J.A.
I'm all in.
Here we go.
Foxen
Oh,
says,
wow.
show me the extra chip. And he's
Kings.
woken up with
Two
kings.
kings.
Wow.
Dire straits for Jeremy.
It's not good.
It's like the 6th time I've had these today.
Have you really had them? No.
4-1 dog.
You got a live hand, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty fucking live.
Pick up a little straight flush draw on the turn, maybe?
Livelier. Courtesy of the
Yeah.
9.
No, too much. 4 of hearts maybe, but 6 of hearts over the top.
No backdoor flush draw acquired. And now the bell tolls for Jeremy Ausmus. 4th all-time in PGT titles. Will he be denied the opportunity to pick up another one here today? No! Nina on the end, not so fast.
No way.
875.
Another double up, and this time kings
He's
go
not very
down
good
for
at all-in,
Foxen.
is he?
Yeah, so
No.
don't all in next
Yeah, he didn't give me any choice. I would have I would have tried to see a safe flop if he let me.
So I would twice. Huh?
At what point is Dr. Jack going to fall out of his chair?
Oh my goodness.
The least.
That is so dirty.
I've never seen anything like this. Just double up after double up through Foxen. Yet he still has 65% of the chips.
I'd written him off emotionally in that one. I thought it was
I have 1.85.
time to stick a fork in Ausmus, but
Way more than me, huh?
Oh, you tried to already award him third place earlier.
well, you know, perhaps the prophecy was moments away from coming true, but Jeremy with other ideas as the deck gracing him with trips against the Kings. Foxen undeterred, now getting after Dr. Jack. Pan $500,000 plus shy of Ausmus, so the calculus a bit different in this position. A suited king in the big, such a high VPIP out of Alex.
Suited.
Wow. That's a good hand.
Next.
Out of
But
the
Jeremy
way
puts it in
goes.
with 9 high, so you got to wait him out, right?
It's true.
Well, jump into free online poker with PokerGO, where you can grind ring games and run deep in tourneys with no deposits, bots, or gimmicks. Just pure, authentic poker. PokerGO also offering special free rolls that run every hour on the half hour. Play now at playpokergo.com. Available on web, iOS, and Android. A high-stakes game, a merry-go-round, is broken out here in the studio in event number 7, and nobody's getting off their horse. Ausmus was one card away from the dismount, and instead saddled right back up with 1.8 and change coming into this one. Flicks in defense, dominated with his 6-5 against the 8-6 of Foxen, who just came with the min raise. 9-3 deuce, Ausmus with the flush. Foxen drawing dead on the flop.
Here comes Ausmus. Going to be hard to get too much action, but the expected follow-through from Foxen does arrive, 100K. And what do you want to do, Mr. Ausmus?
He's trying to determine what the best path forward is to try and win the max against Alex, who is all over the map in terms of his pre-flop raising range. Decides the 275 here and now is the way, but 8-6 off, able to get away.
There was a devious thought from Foxen, thinking, you know what, this is an easy board for Ausmus to check raise me. Maybe I can.
For as bad as he's running these all-ins,
Yeah.
Brent, there have
Yeah.
been a number of occasions on which he kind of was mercifully given a hand he could fold, you know, avoiding an open, for example, against Dr. Jack on a few times, you know, or a jam, and then he just has bottom of range and ends up not giving the spin. There you saw the choice to check raise by Ausmus. So things could be worse.
Certainly could be. You know, a lesser composed player, I think the wheels come off the tracks when you lose so many all-ins in a row, but
Sure.
not Foxen.
Ugly one on the puck. Now Ausmus gets to put the same pressure onto Dr. Jack that he was feeling for so much of this three-handed battle. Of course, Foxen, the man that delivers it, but
was
Here he
waiting
just
for
came
him.
with the limp with the 8-5 off. He was dominated, and another
Yeah,
example
that's
of one of these
Or, like,
spots.
He was all in for. Yeah, I mean,
Instead of
I
even
definitely paid
raising-
it, I think.
Or
Yeah.
finding a
think so. I
jam,
think you had 850,
he's just
right?
able to limp
Yeah.
fold.
Yeah, you're working the limps with those little baby cards.
And
you
I
know.
limped.
I think he's also probably limping various traps. You know, but the queen 3 or the queen 5 off, the money would have been all in. The big little. But Foxen, you know, he's despite losing these hands, that's also an exhibit of running good. It very easily could have collided in a bigger pot when Ausmus flopped the flush, but he had nothing. It's weird how this game can work sometimes.
Yeah.
And now he's just having fun. Look at this, 5-3 off. Says, yeah, these guys can fold a lot. They should fold a lot. He's going to try and outplay Ausmus post-flop. See who can get lucky and perhaps hit a flop.
Ace 8 deuce rainbow. Wheel gutter for Foxen.
Yeah, it's understandable for Foxen to want to continue this type of texture. And as we can see, Ausmus not going anywhere. With
Middle
that
pair
pair
on
of
a
eights.
relatively dry board here. Backdoor clubs for him. Of course, he's somewhat shackled and governed by the desire to ladder and Pan's 1 million and change. So he comes with call, 10 on the turn.
And this is where I want to see if Foxen will feast. Can you find the second barrel? And I suspect if he does, it will be heavy. Put a ton of pressure on Ausmus. He's asking right now, how often does Jeremy ever have a hand like ace-X? And if it's an 8, we can certainly put a ton of pressure on. There it is, 450K. And Ausmus is just sick. You know if you call, there's a chance you're facing an all-in on the river. There is a world in which Foxen could just shut it down on the river, but it doesn't really feel like Foxen, right, to ever just shut it down. You just kind of suspect that it could be incoming on the river. And there it is, the fold with the 8.
Reluctantly, but again, it is Pan with 1.1 and that 42,000 that's on Ausmus's mind when he mucks there. Coupled with, of course, the expectation that Ausmus
You like when you get caught bluffing, huh?
won't be getting to showdown cheap.
Well, I wasn't fully caught yet if you called. I still have another chance. So excited to see you on the river.
I had too much of that last night.
King 7. Doesn't qualify.
Okay.
Foxen was
Pretty
ready.
good, yeah. Not great, but playable.
Why, what's this I see, Ali? Hard to miss whenever you've experienced Blue Chew Gold. In fact, nobody will miss what you have to offer, pal.
What's that?
Well, try it.
I'm not trying it.
And then take a walk around the PokerGO studio, see if you,
Never. I'm in sweats.
get any reactions.
You know, one-man wigwam out there, I'm good.
900.
Well, the reaction to the King 9 in the small for Foxen is to ask Dr. Jack to take a stand. 10-9 suited is pretty, but not pretty enough. Boy, he's fortunate. He was dominated.
There it is, that wonderful elixir. Can we get a look at that? This seems like something you should know. That looks like a very bougie type of concoction that you, Ali, certainly have experienced once or twice, no?
You know, I don't know how to break it to you, but it's just water.
2 million.
Now,
Yeah, but
granted,
what kind of water?
It's volcanic water for ideal
All in and a call.
hydration.
Here we go.
And
You got a pair?
Dr. Pan
I was
looking
being
to
sarcastic.
hydrate
But
with
I think I
ace
finally
queen.
win one.
Drink it in. 2 million in the middle. Foxen
Just put the ace.
with 2 clean cards. Is he going to lose another one of
Ace
these?
5-4.
Or is he finally going to deliver a beat?
Wow.
King 5-5.
Wow.
The
For
ace
a
queen
2-heart flop with a 5 on it, that's pretty good for you.
is cozy.
5
4 hearts.
Oh,
Wow.
coziness eradicated on the turn, though. Foxen hooks up with the 6, and that leaves only 2 clean aces and 2 clean queens for Dr. Jack to avoid going flatline here in event 7, and that's not
Close.
going to
Good game,
do it.
Jack.
Good
Nice
game,
playing
Jack.
with you, man.
Good game. Good luck over there.
He fought, he showed
Very
patience,
impressive run you've been on.
and he's earned the
Yeah.
compliment from Alex Foxen,
See you in the later one.
and ultimately able to earn no more than $94,500 is Dr. Jack as he gives way to Jeremy Ausmus to do his bidding in the effort to climb up and over this mountain of chips sitting in front of Alex Foxen, who will start heads up with 7.2 million. Brent and I going to step aside. Back with heads up action from event number 7 after this.
It is a new time. It is a new chapter. We are here live in the brand new PokerGO campus. No gamble, no future. Hanks, myself, and the face of FS1, Nick Wright, are going to bring to all of you the best poker show, combining poker, combining sports, and sports cards.
Let's get to work.
What the hell is combining all 3 industries to create the best poker show on planet Earth? Thank you.
That up? You trying to find a little intel? You go over the bios. I'm going to Google. How's that? Natna?
I believe that's what it was.
Okay. No idea what it is, Ali. Maybe it's the Natna Children's Foundation?
Feels like a cause that I could see Aram getting behind, but as I'm leafing through the bio, I confess I'm having trouble zeroing in on details.
All in.
All in declared here by the sticks on the puck, and that's 5 quick bigs and change.
Yeah, really.
Scooped
Risk
up by
maxing.
Zobian.
And confirmed, by the
play
way, the
maxing.
Natna Children's Foundation. Aram, one of the founders, and it looks like this is all
Getting
about
so out of hand.
empowering
Assume we're like not
Tigre's
even going to be
future.
speaking with real words.
Yeah, it's insane.
Tigray, if I'm not mistaken,
I can't help it.
Not
I know,
use
it's
normal
It's
sentences.
actually
Yeah,
just really
an
fun.
ethnic
I know, it is somehow fun.
faction in
Someone
Ethiopia,
really like
Eritrea, like this
blend
kind of
dice.
corner of the world in Africa that have come under some pressure.
More his generation's thing, right?
Yeah.
Not looking to soften it, just not fully brushed up on what's going on there. But there is a dealer by the name of Lemlem over at the Bellagio who I believe is of Tigrayan heritage and has very much talked about this. There were these red hats, by the way, as we see Burke's 335 does get patronage out of Zobian's King Jack suited. Dr. Jack not going to be inclined to get in there with his King Jack, and when it hits the muck, that's an issue, of course, for Zobian. Do you remember these hats? They're in the World Series main that were distributed, and I think even had to gray on the hat. Anyway.
Nope.
9-3 deuce would have been a flush draw for Dr. Jack. Instead, the ace queen hangs on. Turn card now provided. The gridlock has broken as 3 players give way to a heads-up battle here at the PokerGO studio. In event number 7, the 10K no limit hold'em, looking for a champ, and certainly the eagle is perched closer to Alex Foxen than it is to Jeremy Aumsus for the time being. Ali Nejad and Brent Hanks back now for the start of heads-up play. Alex Foxen has been here many, many times, but doesn't have an over 500 record. 33-35, looking to inch closer to that as Jeremy Aumsus is planted dead on a 500 record. 20 wins, 20 losses over the course of his career. Collectively, Brent, these two make up $85 million in career tournament earnings. They're going to add at least $136,500 to the tally as they're playing a $74,000 sit and go for the mini eagle, and points
like so much
toward
better
the
than
overall
long
series
time. Like,
lead.
he just crushed everyone. Maybe it's just a really just lucky round.
Yeah, I mean, there's
probably some variance in there, but I looked at, after I saw that, I looked at several people, and no one was even close to him.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, one. Maybe like all.
Like, how many heads-up matches did he have? It can't have been more than like.
I can't remember. I'll have to look again.
I think they're talking about Phil Hellmuth. Ausmus touched on this earlier in the series.
It's been like a couple years since I looked, I think.
It's not like a weekly thing for you? Going to check in on how he's doing.
King 4-3, the first flop. Advantage Foxen here. It was limped. I would imagine Ausmus is going to be content with hands like 8-5 offsuit to not want to just muck, but certainly not play a big one, and caught Foxen with a hand he was happy to check back and C3 with. Jeremy getting after it a little bit with a club and a 5. Foxen flicks in his bumblebee. Now picks up backdoor spades on the board, pairing 4.
Foxen's got the whole world, pair and a flush draw. And if you're Ausmus, I would imagine this is a horrible card for you to want to continue on.
Sure enough, he does check back. Now the flush completes. 5-6 also arrives.
Yeah.
7s and 4s with a king kicker officially for Foxen.
Look at Ausmus's hand and the way that it sort of connects to this board. As the 8 of clubs, also a 5 in hand. It's a world in which
close your eyes and convince yourself you've got something you don't.
You know,
facing a bet of 300 into 5.
It's certainly a thought that's running through his mind. I assure you that. And the hope would be to fold out some of this 7x. What we can see is exactly 7-3, and unlikely to fold out a king. But boy, it's asking a lot against a guy like Foxen, who just hates to fold in general.
Oh my
Look
goodness,
at this.
he's piling it all up,
And
and
he's
he's
reaching.
putting it in there, interfering with flushes and straights, as you pointed out. Foxen wants a count. This is the very first hand of heads up, and all Foxen needs to do is click call, and he'll be your winner. Can he get there for the extra million? Remember, Ausmus checked back the turn.
I just don't think you'd ever do this with just a king. So Foxen knows it's really polarizing. Essentially a straight or flush, or we just win.
Is Ausmus going to be able to make a believer out of Alex? No! And this one's over in a single hand, Brent.
GG.
Wow. Total domination from start to finish for Alex Foxen,
Nice eagle.
bringing home the title.
My goodness, $210,000 for Foxen. Ausmus, regardless of his finish here today, was always going to plant himself second in the overall series leaderboard. Cannot climb ahead of Brock Wilson. He will, however, pick up $136,500 for his efforts, and what an effort it was there. Went for broke, first hand of heads up, and Foxen, to his credit, sniffed it out. 74K ladder acquired as he continues to add to his incredible career tally of over $56 million. Boy, I feel so unsatisfied.
Well, Foxen doesn't. He's adding a golden eagle to that already massive trophy collection at home. Hoisted high and proud, my man.
Yeah, it's taking flight out of frame. Zoom out as that beast went wire to wire for his 13th PGT title. Did exactly what was required of him. Stayed the course, never looked rattled, and that's no surprise to those who have watched Alex Foxen throughout the years, and maybe we'll be watching more of him tomorrow, as we still have 3 more events remaining in this year's US Poker Open. But for Event 7, that's our time. On behalf of our entire crew here in Las Vegas and my man in the booth, Brent Hanks, this is Ali Nejad saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Actually, we'll see you Monday for more of the US Poker Open. See ya!